Saturday morning, afternoon. My name is Ryan Russell, your host, aka moderator for today. And I'd like to welcome you today, in which we're tuning into this week's episode of Dallas Confidential, which our episode today is Collecting College Coins. Is it even worth it? And I also like to introduce my co-host today, which we have Don James Russell, we have John Shug Johnson, and also Pastor Holly Mays. And what we're looking forward to is just discussing the topic today, which I just stated is collecting college coins. Is it even worth it? And just to get a kind of insight on the topic, we're trying to get an idea or a scope of where people's mindset is when it comes to colleges as to, do you feel worth investing in the college? Where's your mindset or value overall when it comes to this, and what goals are you trying to obtain in this setting as far as collecting college coins or just saving up as an overall investment for yourself? And the premise for this is, in every increasing college cost probably costs more. The ever increasing college costs probably have more. Most of us scratching our heads wondering if a college degree is even really worth it. Will we really get a return on our investment? Before answering that question, let's take a look at what's the real price tag cost for the actual colleges these days. Now, the average cost of tuition, according to the College Board, the average cost for tuition and fees, which sometimes includes library, college campus transfers, student government athletic facilities, basically can range anywhere between $30,000 to $33,480 for a private college and $9,650 for a state resident at a public college, and $24,930 for out-of-state residents attending public universities. These numbers do not include housing, meals, books, book supplies, school fees, which could tack on another $10,000 to $16,000 per year. And just to give you an idea, as far as what I've covered right now, we're just trying to get an insight on how or what do we view as the value in this, and also if the investment is really worth, which basically the topic is collecting coins. Is it really worth it? So I guess with my co-hosts, I just like to chime in with them just to kind of get their input on this segment right now, as far as how do they feel about this. Because right now we have statistics dealing with, we have statistics and college debt, in which the national student loan debt has soared to $260 billion in 2004 to $1.4 trillion in 2017. The average debt jumps from $18,650 to $38,000 over the same period. The number of people over 60 with student loan debt has quadrupled in the last decade, from 700,000 to 2.8 million. And I guess I'd like to get your intake on this, as far as how much debt do each of you have, and what is your plan to pay it off?
Okay, so let's go back, because that's a lot of information, as always. Did we even go to college, and why did I go to school? So I did go to college. I went to college, started over 20 years ago. I went to college because no one in my family let me go back. I did have family that had went to college. My cousin had went to college. She went to community college. I started school at a 4-year college here in Dallas at Paul Quinn College is where I went to a HBCU. My mother did not go to college. My father had went to college, but I'm unsure if I don't think he graduated from college. So I went to school. The only people that I knew in my life that had degrees were the teachers that taught me. So I went to school to be an educator. So I did go to college, and I did end up graduating with a 4-year degree. And I did end up racking up student loan debt. So that's my story on why I went to college, where I went to college, and yes, I ended up in debt because of college.
I went to college too, over 20 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to University of North Texas. I didn't go to a HBCU. I really didn't take college serious, and I only went to college because that was the thing to do. You know, it was something that was pressed upon us because of our parents. Well, this is something that you're gonna do. You go to school, high school, then you get out, and you're gonna go to college. That was just something that was implemented in most black families,
Especially at that time.
and during that time. So you felt like you were not going to college for yourself, but actually for someone else.
Right.
And at that time, I didn't appreciate the college. I was felt like I was more advanced than the people in college because college to me felt like it was a big high school. And when I was in high school, my peers, even though we were the same age, but the people that I hung out with were much older. They were the generation before me. They were like 10 years older than I. So when I went to college and saw the repetitive or the behaviors that I saw in high school, I was over it. So I went and wasted and collected college coins and wasted somebody else's time. And then I ended up with a lot of debt. After, attending college for a year and a half, I racked up about $20,000 within that year.
Wow. And did not finish.
And did not finish. It took me 20 years later to finally get a degree from an online college at that point, which I still have racked up another $20,000.
Right. And we'll talk about that debt later.
Exactly.
Holly?
So I guess my transition was a little different because I went to college and completely flunked out. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest. I'm straight out of high school.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that, but
I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I wasn't the least. I thought college was a cool idea. Got around my friends because I went to Florida Memorial in Dade County, which then transferred to Prairie View, and it was like a big Lincoln because I went to Lincoln High School, and to be honest with you, I had a great time, just didn't get no credits, and ended up flunking out. And ended up going to the military, and I didn't go back to college until after the military. So that's when as I matured and got older. I went back to school and got and when I have college debt, let me tell you. But that was my pretty much. But I was too immature to go to college and stay in college and in the 90s and early. Well, it was 90s.
It was 90s.
Yeah.
90s.
So I was way too immature for that. Neither one of my parents graduated college, so it wasn't no big deal in my house. So.
Yeah, and I guess speaking for myself, it was just a transition, just coming from the West Coast to the South, and honestly, I hadn't even planned on going to college at all. It was basically, my aunts told me about a college here, because I was about to join the National Guard and go to Africa
Jesus.
to get deployed, and just on that trip out here to visit her, we went to Paul Quinn, visited. My dad said, well, what do you think? And I was like, I want to go. And that was my experience going to college, where I didn't have intentions on going. The experience, you can never take back, or you can never put into words the first freshman year experience. Now, after their freshman year, the continuation, either you're going to continue along doing whatever goal or major you pursue, but after that, if a job comes along and you weren't really fully invested in college anyway, it changes the trajectory, and I ended up not going to college and just started working for the government and still work for the government for the last 25 years.
No, you did end up going to college. You didn't end up completing college.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just stopped and then ended up going to, doing my job with the government. But that's a whole other story in its own. So, with the local national information, the local national impact on graduation rates, the 6-year graduation rate for first-time full-time graduate students who began seeking a bachelor degree, a 4-year degree granting institution in 2001 overall was 60%. Did you graduate, and where are you working are you working in your current field of study?
That's a good question. Probably something that I'll think about. I think it's time for us to take a commercial break, and we'll get back right after that. Right?
Yes.
Okay, we'll take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
So real quickly, before we do anything, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors real quick. Kingdom Faith Empowerment Center, Creative Consultant, Shug Pillow Talk Podcast, Bishop Chronicles Podcast, and hashtag Rescue Me Podcast. We want to thank each and every one of those sponsors for participating, for helping. Listen, if you guys want to be a sponsor of our show and help us go to a national level, we encourage you to reach out to Miss Dawn James Russell at 214-414-9070. If you want to just be a blessing to the show, trust me, it helps out. It keeps us with lighting, cameras, you name it, guys. It really helps us go to the next level of the show. But you can help us via Cash App at $Dallas Confidential TV. Again, you can reach out, text, or call Miss Dawn James Russell at 214-414-9070. Or you could just be a blessing and just support our show via Cash App, $Dallas Confidential TV.
Welcome back, everybody, to Dallas Confidential TV. I'm your host, once again, Ryan Russell. And today's topic is collecting college coins. Is it even really worth it? And just want to have a brief discussion with you on another topic in which, in local national impact on graduation rates, the 6-year graduation rate for first-time, full-time graduate students who began seeking a bachelor's degree at 4-year degree granting institution in the fall of 2001 overall was a percentage of 60%. And I'd like to ask y'all today, did you graduate and are you working in your field of study?
I did not initially graduate. And, the field that I intended to go to college for. I went to college, my major was biology. I love everything about science. I love everything about medicine. My passion is in medicine. However, like I said, my college experience was not the best for me because I felt like my maturity level was much greater than my atmosphere that I was in, so I could not be bothered with it. And so I came out and I started making money in the workplace. I started working in a career. I didn't get just a job. Right. I had a career at this point. And so I felt like, again, I was much more advanced than my classmates or my peers because they're still racking up college coins and debt. And here I am in a career. By the time they have graduated from college, I have been in my career 4 or 5 years at this point, making double of what they've already accumulated in college debt. So I bring it back to this. Now I am returning to college. I have a degree. It's an associate's degree, but it's in business. But I'm back in school now collecting coins, college coins in a degree of healthcare management. So
Which you started 20 years ago.
Which I started 20 years ago. So here we are back full circle. Yes, I'm still advanced, but in some ways I feel like I am behind because I look at my life and say, I could have been doing this.
Right.
I've been in my career now for 21 years, but I could have been in my field for at least 20 years.
College?
Yeah, I'm actually doing what I went to school for. My degrees are in kinesiology, the study of human movement, and also physical therapy. So for the last 15 to 20 years, that's what I've been doing. I was very specific when I went to school because I didn't want to do anything I didn't like. My parents were on this lawyer and doctor kick. Hey, be a lawyer, be a doctor. You're going to always have those two. People are going to go to jail and get sued, and people are going to die and get sick. And I was like, nah, I ain't with that. So I went to school just to be attached to the medical field, but also I had a passion for getting people mobile again. I got tired of seeing people not mobile. So yes, I that's pretty much it with me. I've always done, and then I also got degrees in Christian ministries and a doctorate, and a master's in pastoral counseling and Christian ministries. So I'm also a pastor as well. So I guess I'm doing exactly what my degree field is.
Yeah.
What about?
And you feel like you're passionate in that area as far as so you'll finish out and see all the way through.
Absolutely. I wanted to make sure that I opened the window for continuous education. I didn't want to get a degree to where I felt like my education could stop at a certain level. I wanted to make sure that I could always be transitional whenever it came to, okay, well, there's a new trend going, especially in the fitness field.
Yeah.
There's a new trend going, or there's a new product out. There's a new movement that people need to deal with. So I got not only a degree field, but I also got a degree field that also had certifications. So you could have minors in things. So you could be like, okay, flexibility training, nutrition, dietary. They were so broad and so many certifications. So it left me in a good place to be able to enhance my education if I ever chose to do so.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sorry, baby. Did you want to say something?
No, it's completely fine. I would say for me, I got my bachelor's degree in second-year English education. When I came out of school, I was already making more money working in healthcare than I would have made as a teacher. So I taught 1 year. Did not care for the education system, which I talked about already. We talked about this in our first show.
Right.
I didn't like the politics and the parents in education, so I got right out of that. But I was very fortunate. I only had like $10,000 in student loan debt. So I paid that off probably in the first 7 years through my income tax returns. I just let them take my income taxes for 7 years straight. So I was done with that. I have a master's degree in human relations and business, and I paid cash for that. I refused to do that again. So my whole master's, half of it was paid by the jobs that I had. They did tuition reimbursement, and then the rest of it I paid for myself. And then my second master's, I have 6 classes left. And once again, my companies have paid for it, and I paid for it myself. I won't have any student loan debt when I finish my second master's. I will tell you that I do not work in the field that my bachelor's is in. I will work in the field that my master's is in. My first master's, I can use it, and my second one, I will use it. So I'll tell you, for me, I did not want to be part of that national debt. Mm-hmm. I did not want to be that person that literally comes out of school and basically I have a house loan of debt, right? And so I have worked with people that were lawyers and doctors, and they basically have a house loan, the amount of debt, and I just feel for them. Literally, they have to look at their debt to income ratio, and they're in their 20s, right? So I feel for them, and luckily they are working in a field that's very lucrative, but that is not always the case.
It's not always.
That's not always the case. Sometimes people have 6-figure debt, and they only make 5 figures, right? So I'm very blessed that that's not my case, but it does happen.
And let me say this too, Doug, because I didn't talk about my debt. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like Dunn. I got blessed. I was in the military, so the military took care of a lot of my debt. Now, my debt is extensive because of the amount of degrees I have in my doctoral degree, which the military did not take care of, because by the time I finished my second master's, that was used up.
Right,
but it did cut it down, because it could have been crazy,
right?
And we're talking maybe $200,000 in debt that went up to maybe $20,000 in debt, as opposed to it being up to $200,000. Right. So I really encourage people, man, if you are in school or you're doing something, really find outside sources. When we were in school, and I think everybody on this panel was around the same age, when we were in school, there was not as many funding opportunities as it is now. I mean, now you have organizations that if you write a essay, they're willing to give you, $1,000 here, $1,000. I think one girl had close to $1 million in scholarship money coming out of high school. You know what I'm saying? So just a great opportunity, man, to really research and see what opportunities are out there, because you certainly don't want to. Don spoke about debt to income ratio. Believe it or not, they look at student loans in your debt to income ratio. Yes. And even though you may not have credit, you have credit now when you have debt. Mm-hmm. So, just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I think as far as like right now, we need to go to another commercial break. Mm-hmm. So I just want to take a small commercial break. And we'll be right with you at Dallas Confidential TV.
Yeah, you guys stay with us. This is a very important subject, and we appreciate you.
Once again, just want to give you guys a shout out to the sponsors that we have available. Kingdom Faith Empowerment Center. Please follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, along with Creative Consultant. Shook Pillow Talk Podcast. Also follow them on Facebook and Fishbowl Network as well. Bishop Chronicles Podcast. also on Facebook and Rescue Me Podcast. Please make sure you follow our sponsors. We thank them so much for being a blessing to the show and really coming together to help us with the things that we need. If you want to be a sponsor of a show and support our show, please, we ask you to text or call Ms. Dunn James Russell at 214-414-9070. Or if you just want to be a financial blessing to help us get things like lighting, cameras, setup, you name it, and you want to connect with us as we grow and develop this show, please, you are more than welcome to be a blessing through Cash App at $ Dallas Confidential TV. Again, Dallas Confidential TV. Do me a favor. When you guys are commenting back to us, make sure you put hashtag Dallas Confidential TV.
Welcome back to Dallas Confidential TV. Today, once again, our topic for today is collecting college coins. Is it really worth it? And just to give you some feedback on what we just touched bases on is everybody's background, their experience in collecting college coins for their current field of study, or if they're still pursuing that field, and also whether or not the saving or investment was really worth it. And just to give you some information or feedback on it, the median household income in the United States, as far as by education in 2018, with a professional degree, had the highest median household income in 2018 of $160,007. In comparison, those with less than a ninth grade education, it was majorly less than, as only $26,875. And the range from, with less than a high school diploma, from $25,630 to a doctorate, which is $84,396 per year. And I guess I want to ask my co-host, what advice would you have for your kids, niece, nephews, friends, or relatives about college versus vocational school, trade school, or basically no school at all in order to make it today?
Holly, we'll let you start, because you were just talking about that a little bit, about making sure that they research before just jumping out there and collecting debt.
Absolutely. The biggest thing is make sure what we're talking about is preparation. When is a good time to prepare for college? And I'm so overwhelmed by the things that they have available to young folks nowadays. Because when I was in school, I think all of us, they didn't have, they might have had college prep course. I think we called it TAG or something. But now they have it to where when you graduate, you have an associate's degree. So you already have 2 years in the bag. So that means that where we used to prepare for college in our junior and senior year, now you'd have to start preparing for their college in their freshman year. Okay, so the first thing is preparation. Make sure that when you enter high school, you already have the mindset of what school, what college, what direction are you going to go when you are moving towards that collegiate level. The second thing is you have to look at local companies. Every company is on the table. Okay, and see what scholarship information they have available for you. And whether it's $300, $30, $500, it doesn't matter. It all adds up because college adds up. It really does. But make sure that you're connecting with different companies. Start with your relatives' company. If somebody works with Jack in the Box, somebody works for Hewlett Packard, someone works with LTV, it doesn't really matter. See if they have a scholarship program that will allow you to be able to get some college coins, because you're going to need them. Now, let me say this real quick, if you don't mind, without taking up too much of the time with this. You can use scholarship money for more than just books and tuition. You have to understand that. If my tuition for all 4 years is $40,000, but I got $1 million in scholarship money, then you guys can kind of do the math on this, okay? So understand how easy this will be on your parents or any other sources that were coming out, because you don't want to come out of college starting your career with debt. You just don't, okay? You don't. And if you can avoid that at all costs, but always understand everybody's talking about starting businesses and this, that, and the other. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna digress. I had a young lady who is a part of my church, and she's, of course, it's college break right now, and she got probably about $250,000 in scholarships. Now that money that she used it for school. She paid for entire school with all this money, but the money she had left over, she put into an interest-bearing account, a money market account, and an IRA. She's using that money to start her beauty line. Okay. Now, hear what I just said, because most of us are going to get out of college and take a business loan. She doesn't have to do that now because she has over $100 and some $1,000 that she got, and it's tax-free, free money.
Right.
They can't tell you what to use that for. So that's just,
That was smart.
yeah.
It was smart.
What about you, John?
I'm gonna take it a different route.
Okay. What are you telling them?
Because college is not for everyone.
It's not, man. That's
It
the
is
good
not
point.
for
Good
everyone.
point, man.
So you have to decide for yourself
Right.
and be true to yourself and to your parents or whoever is trying to push you out there, and let them know this is not what
I want to do.
What I want to do, because you're gonna go and it's gonna be in vain, and then you're gonna collect these college coins.
Right.
Good point, man.
And you have to also paint the reality to them, because they paint this facade that you go to college, you get a degree. First it was an associate's degree, then it was a bachelor's degree. Now they're making it to where you get you have to get your master's. Now your master's not good enough. Then you have to get a doctorate degree,
Right.
then a PhD, and then you still have to get out here into this workforce and still have to rally or compete,
Right.
or do all these things to get the job that you're wanting,
Right.
the position that you're wanting. Then you begin to be in a crabs in a barrel type mentality.
Right.
And so these things, the reality of outside of just collecting these college coins, they're not telling them what they are faced with when they get out in the workforce.
Absolutely.
Even if you are being an entrepreneur, you're still having to fight against the next.
Right.
And so here you are, you can sometimes become defeated, or have other mixed emotions behind what this facade of going to school has been presented to you. So I feel like that you should, or those that are pushing these children to go to school or go to college or whatever, to be these doctors, lawyers, is a lot. Those are the big things, and people think of those professions because of the money aspect.
Right.
As
Good
opposed
point.
to telling these kids, supporting these kids in their passion.
Yeah, do what they love. Yeah, right.
Because it says your gift will make room for you,
Right.
as opposed to this
degree. Right.
Right.
Right. I
So
agree
that's
with that.
my point on it, as in regards to, and my advice that I would give to a parent or to a student or someone that is contemplating whether they should or should not go to college.
Very
What is the actual benefit of it? Because I'm the type of person, okay, we can do this and we can talk about all this and we can do all this training, but I need to know at the end, how is this benefiting? What lesson am I actually getting out of this?
And are you passionate?
Am I passionate?
That's
What-
the key
you're
thing
doing.
right
Right.
there.
What did you actually learn out of college?
Yeah.
What did you actually learn out of high school, but
Yeah.
past of multiplication, division,
Right.
English and
Right.
history. Okay, so what else? How is this gonna provide me or help me survive in this world
Right.
that we live in?
Right. That's very
And
good.
can I say something real quick, John? You actually just touched on something, and I pray that everybody heard this. Do what you love to do. Please do what you love to do. Let me be very clear, and I'm gonna say this because, and I'm gonna expose myself a little bit. The reason I failed college is because everything that I did was not what I wanted to do. It was what my parents wanted me to do.
Yeah, you was living.
I couldn't stand the classes. So there was no reason for me to be in the classes, and I was unhappy. I was happy with college, but I wasn't happy with what college gave me, and that's huge. So I just want to highlight that because that's a really good point.
Thank you.
So I will tell you, being in human resources for the last 20 years,
She's
first
a
off, I'll
human
tell
resource
you.
queen.
First off, I'll tell you that the average income of a person with a doctoral degree is $85,000.
It's true.
That is not what you would think when you think about doctoral degree. It's going to cost you $150,000 to get a doctoral degree.
Jesus.
To only come out and make $85,000. That's an average, you guys. I'm not saying everyone. That's an average, okay?
It's about right.
Let me interject. And I don't have a college degree, and just to put myself out there, I'm at 75,000.
There you go. Okay, and I have a master's degree, and I'm already at six figures. So if you think about it, my husband has no degree, and he's at six figures, right? So degrees does not equate to happiness, nor does it equate to profits, right? So we want to throw that out there. That's the whole purpose of this conversation. Do degrees equate to why do you have to rack up debt to rack up profits? And that's not always the case.
Right.
So putting it all out there, I will tell you my answer is make sure that you research and understand the degree in which you are collecting. The reason I say that is because I am very blessed that it only cost me $10,000 to get my 4-year degree, because that is not the norm, especially at a private college. Private 4-year colleges, you're coming out with $100,000 a day.
DBU, Lord.
Even at Paul Quinn College, okay? So I tell you that I was just blessed that way. I have a girlfriend whose daughter really wants to go to Baylor University.
Jesus.
Her parents graduated from Baylor. Her grandparents graduated from Baylor. She will not be going to Baylor. She will be going to Texas Tech this
Come
fall.
on now.
Reason being is because Baylor is $57,000 a year. She has a 3.9 GPA.
Wow.
She scored a 24 on the SAT.
Is that good?
It's good, but she needed a 26 to get the scholarship that she needed to get.
Jesus.
So $57,000 a year to go to Baylor. That is $200,000. Okay, so I'm telling you all of this to tell for a bachelor's degree. And think if you're going for education like I did. She's coming out of school to make $57,000 a year as a first year teacher. That makes no sense. But if it makes no sense, regardless, to have $200,000 in debt for a 4-year degree. Yeah. But if you are able to get scholarships and you can get a 4-year degree and come out with an engineering degree, that is something different, because you can come out of school and as an engineer and come out of school first year making $90,000 with a $50,000 sign-on bonus. I can tell you that because PV graduates, because PV is a very good school for engineering.
It really is.
They are coming out making that kind of money, because I have family who did it on my daughter's father's side who did it, and that's a different. Kids, research your major.
Right.
I'm not telling you don't go with your passion, but if your passion is not going to make you profits, you may want to reconsider. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Well, see, she'll call me the devil's advocate on this. She always tell me. I disagree with that, because unlike all of them, when I graduated, even with a doctor's, I don't make that type of money. But I didn't, that wasn't a big thing for me. And I'll always go back to do what you love, because you can be, college, first of all, and I'll agree with John on this, it's not for everybody, or it may not be the right time for you to go to college, because how I was at 20 is not how I am at 40 or 35. Exactly. So my maturity level at 19 and 20 was not focused enough to go to college at 20. My time was at 30 or 35. But you got to do what you love doing, because watch this. If you don't do what you love doing, you will never be completely successful in what you're doing. Everybody that's not working in their degree field, when they got their degree field, their intention was to work in their degree field. Mm-hmm. Something happened when you got in that field and you said, wait, hold on. This is not what I thought it was, because you found out it wasn't, and you ended up doing what you grew to love, or you learned to love, or whatever the case may be, and now you produce longevity. I get it. Everybody wants to make money, but I believe, and John said this scripture earlier, your gifts will make room for you. If you do what you love doing, regardless to what mama say, daddy say, or anything, I promise you, because fitness, unfortunately, does not start out at 70, 60, 50, nothing. Okay? But I can assure you that in my course of doing it and growing and developing and building and my passion in it, I've eclipsed 6 figures. Yeah. So, yes, it may have taken a little bit longer, but I'll have more longevity in something that I, one, dedicated my life to, and one that I went to school for, and it's not a hindsight to say, oh, I shouldn't have done this. Because debt with no cause of debt is a psychological trauma. You're like, why did I rack this much debt? Getting something I don't even use.
And see, this is what I'll say, and I'm going to go back to education, because I can beat a dead horse on education.
She loves it.
If you want to be a teacher, research that well in advance. Get
Please do.
Scholarships.
Absolutely.
So that you will come out of school with more debt than you will make. And you will end up hating it, because your paycheck, what you will take home, what you will owe more than what you'll take home. Google it. What was that, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That teachers were taking home like $900
Yeah.
a month.
That's crazy.
What?
After what they, because their benefits are so high.
Yeah, she's right.
And
Yeah.
so and so they were picketing in
Yeah.
like 40
Yeah.
states
Yeah.
because they have to pay for
A lot of
their
people
own
quit.
books.
Yeah.
They had to pay for the kids' paper and the pens and all that stuff. And the teachers were like, "This is ridiculous. Like
Right.
we're having to cover the expenses." And so I say that because they were passionate.
Right.
These teachers have been there for 20 plus years,
Right.
and we're taking home like $1,500.
It makes a difference.
So I
Yeah.
tell you that because we want you to be in the classrooms with these kids, but we want it to be fair for you.
That's a good
so
point.
If you have
Good
student
point.
loan debt and you have, you're not making enough money, you're not gonna love it.
Right,
It's
right,
not gonna
right.
be a win for you. So make sure that you,
That's a good
like
point.
me, it was just a blessing that at the time Paul Quinn had scholarship money and I was able to get scholarships for
Right.
it. So make sure, or go work in a district where they're willing to pay your loans, because they will do that if you go work in one of these low poverty, aka hood districts. They will pay for it. No, it's the truth.
Right.
If you go work, but most people don't want to go work in the, what do they call, like low, not really low income, but where the test scores are really low and they try
Right.
to get teachers to go there. So anyway, just research your field. That's all I'm saying.
Right,
Research your field. There's some fields where you can go work overseas for
Right.
a few years and they'll pay off your student loan debt. Go
That's
to the
good.
military.
Yeah.
They'll pay off your student loan debt. So that's all we're saying is if you have a passion for your field and it's going to take coins in college to cover it, make sure you have ways to try to lower the cost of college. Because college costs.
Yeah, it does. So, question for you. So, when is a good time to start, even pre-high school, saving? Like, what would you tell parents, like, to help out with this?
So I think that's a very good question, Holly. Let me tell you this. I think parents need to stop only focusing on the GPA.
Good. Okay.
And I will tell you that because once again, my girlfriend, whose daughter will not be going to Baylor and she will be going to Texas Tech, she was thinking her daughter has a 3.9 GPA,
Okay.
but she will not be going because. My girlfriend was like, I told her to focus on her test scores. I can't take the test for her.
Right.
She has to do it herself. It's a plethora of things that kids have to do. First off, like you said, start applying for scholarships their second semester of their sophomore year. I think
Okay.
too many parents wait until the last minute. Half that money is already gone.
Absolutely.
So parents, get in front of it. It's a plethora. These kids need to volunteer.
Right.
They need to have jobs. These colleges are looking for the well-rounded kid. It's not just their GPA. It's not just their test scores. It's not just, oh, my child can flip or bounce a ball or things like that. So I think parents need to be more educated in what it is that the school is looking for.
Okay.
And then be willing to look at all schools. Don't be like, oh, I just want my kid to go to a PWI or I just want him to go to a HBCU. Apply. It's called the Common App, and Holly, you know this because you and I talked about this.
Right.
You can go to the commonapp.org and
Yes.
it will shoot out your kids' information to all 1,600 colleges. Be willing to let your kid apply to all of them and see which one is going to give your kid the most money. And it may not be their school of choice, but it may be the school that's going to give them what they need. And then once they get in, they may have to go there the first 2 years and then they can transfer over. So be willing to be open to some other options.
That's a good point.
If you really want your kid to go to college. John, what you got?
I agree. I mean, like I said, research, like it's been saying, research. We cannot beat that horse enough because you'll find yourself somewhere that you're not happy with. And who wants to pay their money in something they're not happy? Who wants to join something or be a part of an organization or whatever that you're not happy?
Right.
Because when you're not happy, then you tend to perform lower or perform less.
Good point.
So again, I'm big on your passion. Follow your passion. Start early because we do, as a culture, tend to procrastinate and wait till the last minute.
Right.
We need to be involved as parents with the school, with the student. A lot of the stuff, this homework and stuff has really changed in the way they do homework. Everyone has iPads now. Everything is on the computer.
Yeah,
You know, no one has textbooks or anything like that. We have to go and rely on the internet. And a lot of times these children are teaching themselves. So parents really be involved with what's going on with their child from, I'll say pre-K all the way up through high school, because once you start them at that early age, then it wouldn't be so hard and so difficult once they get to the junior and senior year of high school.
Right. And I want to say this really fast. If I can throw this in there, Holly, and I'll let you and Ryan go real fast. 2 things that I see that parents go wrong since Holly asked me. 2 things we do wrong. We force our children to live our dream. I have too many parents that's like, oh no, he's going to college. I don't care what he say. He going to school.
He going to this school.
And I can tell you this because my sister forced my nephew to go to school, and it went real wrong. When I say real wrong, like if you could think of how real wrong could go wrong,
it went that way.
That's the way it went.
Wow.
Okay? And I mean real quick. In his first 2 months on campus, anything he could do wrong, it happened. I'm talking about it included police.
Jesus.
It included judges, trials, police. I'm talking about wrong, okay? So that's what happened when you try to force your kids to do what they don't want to do. If the kid don't want to go, don't force them, because you're going to end up getting your feelings hurt. You're going to lose a whole lot of time and money. Secondly, okay, don't force them to go. If they want to do what they want to do, their major, let these kids choose what they want to do, because if not, they're going to end up dropping out, and you're going to end up wasting a lot of time and energy and effort, money, and what's going to happen 10 years later, they're going to end up doing what they want to do anyway.
Right.
So I think you have to learn how to feed into their passion early on, right? So my daughter, 15 years old, she wants to be a doctor, but she also loves to dance. Early on, I gave her the best of both worlds. She goes to Booker T. Washington High School, which is a performing arts school, but she also takes advanced courses because she wants to go to medical school at LSU. So I say that because she already knows that dancing is a hobby and medical school is what's going to pay the bills.
Right.
So I allowed her to go to Booker T, even though she's going to medical school. So I tell you that because if I had tried to force her hand, I probably wouldn't. It probably wouldn't have worked out. So I just tell you, it's their life, and you got to be willing to step back. As much as we may not agree with it, it's either we support them when they're in our house, or our feelings gonna get hurt when they leave our house.
Right.
And so that's the 2 things I have, and it's hard because we think we know what's best for our kids, and we probably do know what's best for our kids. But you just got to kind of step back these days.
Right.
I'll also say this, and I mean to cut you off. Research the schools. Research the schools that they want to go to. Research these schools that are reaching out to them, because they're not always in the best interest for your child. They just want your money. So that's another thing. Research the schools. If the child want to go to a HBCU or to a private institute or PWI, what have you, research that and see why. How can it really benefit you and your child, and the money that you're spending or racking up here trying to get them to that school.
Right. And make sure the money is continuous, because they'll throw a whole lot of money at you their freshman year. And after that, we know that because we have a kid in college right now, and the money is flowing that first year. If that GPA don't stay the same, that money dries up real quick.
Right.
And now you either have a kid that you're moving off campus sophomore year, or you're having to shuffle and try to figure out real quick what you're going to do with private loans to keep them in that school. So
right. I have a fraternity brother that goes to, and this is no knock on Southern or TSU or Grambling. Do me a favor. Make sure that you go look at the location that's around the school.
Oh, yes.
When I went in school, I was a little bit of a thug. They joke about me all the time about, I can't believe you went from Tupac to being a pastor. So the thing about it is you got to be very careful and aware of the environment, because the campus may look great. It may be awesome. You know what I'm saying? Prairie View's campus, as much as I love Prairie View, this is no knock on Prairie View, it's awesome. But when you come outside of that gate, it's just...
No, that's Grambling. Grambling.
No, I'm talking about when I went to school.
Yeah, got
you know, when I went to Florida Memorial, which was a little small school, man, on the inside, man, it's like its own town. Like, oh, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
But the minute you step outside that gate where the stores, the clubs, the facilities are, and you have to interact with public, it puts you back into the danger zone you try to get your children out of.
Yeah.
So be very, very mindful of the... I get it. UNC... North Carolina is awesome, but if you leave that campus, now what are we talking about? So just be mindful of that.
Yeah, that's how it was when I went to Grambling. So we've been college touring with Valley since she was 5th grade. She's 9th grade now. We've been over 40 colleges. And when I went to Grambling, it's Grambling. When we left that campus, I was just like, why do people come here? Like, it's dead.
And let me say this,
like crazy.
because I know my fraternity brothers and some of my other they gonna call me and be like, bro, why you just let us sit up there?
Why you put us
Listen,
on
just because I'm my wife is pro-black, I am pro-black. But you call a spade a spade. Okay? Some of these colleges, I don't care how black they are not good for the black kid that's going there. I'm just being real with you. Okay? So don't get caught up in this HBCU thing, not in 2020. Okay, back in the day it made sense, but now you really got to do what's best for the next 15 to 20 to 30 years of the person's life.
And you'd be surprised, and we have a commercial break that we need to come to, I'm sure. I want my daughter to go to a HBCU, okay? I went to HBCU. My husband went to a HBCU. Her dad went to a HBCU. I am a firm believer in HBCUs. The education you get there is completely different.
It is.
My daughter is hell-bent on going to LSU. LSU is number 1. OU is number 2. Baylor's number 3. PV is number 4. I tell you that because Spelman, which is the number 1 HBCU in the nation, their freshman dorm has no AC. The whole freshman dorm in Atlanta, Georgia. They have no AC. The number 1 HBCU in the nation.
And they got no AC?
No. The freshman dorm.
They want to keep them guys out of
do
there.
it to the seniors. Do it to the seniors. Because guess what? They going to stay because they need to get their degrees because their parents ain't going to let them leave. How do you do that to the freshmen coming on campus? You're the number 1 HBCU in the nation. All that alumni money.
You just done crush somebody's dream.
It crushed my dreams because when Natalie found that out, when she found that out, she's like, "Girl, please, you think I'm gonna pick Spelman over LSU and LSU?" I'm like,
LSU a good school though.
LSU a good school though. They won the national championship, so now I really can't get her to go nowhere, right? We done been there. How many times we been to LSU? If she could go every weekend, we would be at LSU.
LSU a good school though.
So I tell you, it's a phenomenal school, but I mean,
it's just not an HBCU, huh?
Right. So I'm like, okay, but can we go see Howard? She's like, if Spelman don't have no AC, what Howard gonna have? So I'm with you. I just think that as HBCUs, we have to do better. We got, come on, y'all.
And let me say, I know we got to go to a commercial break. Listen. Another thing too. This is something that made a big difference with me graduating college. Your bachelor's degree, maybe not so much, but when you start getting into master's degree, grad degrees, and postgraduate degrees, you have to look at when companies, believe it or not, when companies see the school you came from, that makes a difference.
Oh my God, yes, it does.
Now, I know that we don't have time to get into that, but I want you to pay attention. Pay attention to the school that you're going. I get it. Like she said, I want my son to go to HBCU, my daughter to go to HBCU. I really do. However, in the field that they're in, you got to pick and choose. But anyway, let's go ahead and go to a sponsor break and commercial. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Listen, guys, once again, we're just going over our sponsors again. Kingdom Faith Empowerment Center. Thank you. Creative Consultant, Shug Pillow Talk Podcast, Bishop Chronicles Podcast, and hashtag Rescue Me Podcast. Please make sure you go out and be supportive of our sponsors. We thank them for not only helping out financially, but also helping out spiritually and psychologically as well. They have been great, and we want you to be a sponsor. We want you to be on this list. So listen, if you would like to sponsor this show, or you would like to financially support this show, please do me a favor. Call or text Don James Russell, the young lady that you see on this show, at 214-414-9070. We need your support. We are trying to get better lighting. We're trying to get better sets. We are trying to bring you guys everything that we need to bring you so that we can make you guys feel comfortable and also make sure we get the information out like you need it. So do me a favor, get in touch with Don James Russell. If you would like to be a sponsor of this show, 214-414-9070. Also, if you just want to support, you don't want to be a sponsor, but you just want to be a supporter, you like what we're doing, you like the content that we're bringing out, listen, you can help us financially via Cash App at $ Dallas Confidential TV. We would love your support. We thank you so much, but back to the show.
Welcome back to Dallas Confidential TV, and today's topic is collecting college coins is it really worth it? Before we go, we want to give appreciation to our show sponsors, which is Kingdom Faith Empowerment Center, located in DeSoto, Texas. Creative Consulting, where they can create strategies that develop talent and potential. Should Pillow Talk, which airs on Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Facebook. Also, Bishop Holly's Chronicles, hosted by Holly Mays on Facebook daily. And Rescue Me podcast, where they have open discussions on surviving relationships, pitfalls on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play Music, and SoundCloud. And I guess before we go, I just want to get everybody's take on or final thoughts on today's topics, and if you have any additional comments you would like to add.
There's so much to say about this topic.
It really
show,
is.
I swear we could do a part 2 on it. So I would definitely say, oh goodness, what? I don't know. I'm gonna let Holly go first because Holly always has his thoughts wrapped up. He's so eloquent in his speaking.
Stop. Listen, college is just an important. College has changed over the last 20 years. Let me start by saying that the need for college has changed over the last 20 years. So just to kind of round up what we've talked about, I'm gonna go back to know your child. Okay, and I don't want to make this just about a child because there's some adults that are trying to go back to college. There's
in school right
absolutely
now.
There's some adults that saying, hey, these kids are out of school, or this, that, and the other. The perfect time is here. So listen, even as an adult, use some of the strategies and some of the things that we've mentioned today to help you, because there's scholarship money for everybody. They don't look at the age; they look at a student as a student. So whether you're a freshman or not, guess what? That money is available. Quit going into your 401ks. Quit using all this Stafford loan and unsubsidized and subsidized loans. You can beat that rat race of being in debt when you come out of college. Just take some time to prepare. I can't say that enough. Please prepare and do me a favor. Do what you love, but be very careful about doing things that are status quo. Okay, and once again, make sure you. Don mentioned something that I really don't, unless you're an athlete or something, and that's going to visit the campus. Listen, your child will get a feel for where they want to go.
Please go. It's so different. I'm glad you said that, Holly. I'm sorry.
No, please go ahead. Please.
I have to say this. Well, we went to DBU first here in Dallas Baptist University.
That's what I'm talking about. The Patriots, baby.
Right. I took
Nice
her there.
campus.
It's a beautiful campus right next to the Pirates House.
Yes.
5th grade. I took her. Let me tell you, changed her life. She knew, this is it, Mom. This is a school I'm going to. You know why she wanted to go there? Because they had a Chick-fil-A on campus. She
Sponsored by
was
Chick-fil-A.
amazed by the fact that they had a Chick-fil-A. We've been to 40 colleges. All of them have a Chick-fil-A. Okay? Now she know that. But guess what? OU is number 2 now because OU have a all-you-can-eat Chick-fil-A.
They do,
the
yes.
only
Yes.
one in the nation. They number 2 now. Okay?
That's crazy.
Right. Every school has something different. OU, they give them all Apple Watches. The only college in the nation. They get Apple Watches. The Apple Watches open everything. It opens their door. It opens the college buildings. It opens. They can buy purchases. It buys their food. Every school have their thing. When I tell you, I get chills. I get more excited about her going college touring than she does. And the reason why, because my mom never took me. Right?
Mine never took me either.
My mom didn't even go to college. She didn't even graduate high school. So I am more excited about, I was on the phone with my girlfriend yesterday and she was like, what colleges are y'all going to this year? I'm like, we're doing Georgia and Florida. So we're supposed to do it last year. Corona came. We didn't get a chance to do it. We have 40 more schools to go to. So every time we go college touring, it's a new number 1. So I tell you guys, it's so fun and you learn so much. So please take them college touring. It's so fun.
It's different than what let me say, college is a different experience. I think everybody should go through some type of experience in their life, whether it's in college, out of college, military, whatever. Because, and let me say this too, because I think it's the best decision I ever made, and I don't mean to take up the time from John and Ryan, but if I had not gone to the military, first of all, college would not have even been an option. So look at your options other than, loans and everything. Military is an option. You can go to school in the military. Just want to throw that out there. Just want to throw that out there. So don't neglect. Just because you go to the military don't mean you can't go to school. Because my transition back into school, which I went to Dallas Baptist University, started in the military. And that's what got me prepared to go to school. So check your options. Check your options.
Got it. What
And
you got?
let's make sure we're not living for the likes. That's a show that we had a few weeks back, because a lot of us get caught up in, oh, I went to this HBCU, or I went to this, I went to Spelman, I went to Yale, I went to UNC, only to say that they went. So let's not just do it just for the likes and to get clout. Let's actually make sure that we're going to these schools so that, again, they best benefit us in the long run.
Right.
That's very good. I want to give shout outs to those who have watched our whole show, have given back fed into the show. Francesca Lawton, thank you so much. One of the things that she said was she didn't realize how competitive the markets were city to city. She wished she had gotten her bachelor's degree before coming to Dallas, because it was very difficult for her to get a job here without having a bachelor's degree. And that's very good feedback, because some cities you don't have to have a bachelor's or a master's or a doctoral degree. You know, if you go to Boston, Boston is very competitive, right? Because they're a city of intellects, right? So coming to Dallas, 90% of the jobs you have to have a bachelor's degree. That's right.
And a lot of jobs don't even care about any of that. They just want to have the certifications.
There you go. Or
experience.
Or experience.
So
right.
A lot of times you can go to a community college to get a certification, or take these tests to get a certification, and boom, you're making six figures. A lot of these technical jobs, they don't care about if you have a PhD or a doctorate. They want to know if you have the experience and if you're certified in C++, A++, AA+, all the alphabets. So, you know, that's another option.
Absolutely. So, Kiosha Miles gave us a super clap. Thank you, Kiosha, for watching. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Yumika. You guys, thank you for watching the show. For all of those who did not leave comments, please feel free if you would like. If not, just thank you for watching. We put a lot of effort, energy, and preparation into these shows. If there's a topic that you would like for us to discuss, please let us know. You can just reach out to us on Dallas Confidential TV. Leave your feedback, suggestions, comments. If you do not agree with what we say, let us know. Please, 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 just anything we'll take, because this show does not work unless you do. So, what do you got?
I guess my final thoughts on the subject for collecting coins for college, is it really worth it? For me, I didn't really see a need to go to college. It was more so of a tool in which, if I wanted to accomplish a goal, if college was a means to get there, then I would encompass that on my journey. But if I didn't see it as a necessity, and I saw something that was more advantageous for me to get there faster or cause less money, then, you know, I could see that as a platform. But then if you don't do the research, you don't know whether or not it may come into play later on, because just like with me, if you pursue that career, then what if later on times changes, and then now with the millennials, they'll look forward to coming in with people with the masters and education. Back in the day, it used to be just experience. So it just depends on you, what you value, because each is own. You could go to college, and that could secure you and help prepare you for that journey in a structured environment, or you can just go on your own and just decide, you know what I want to pursue. I'm going to reach there no matter what. And as long as you have that vision and tenacity to reach it, you know, anything can be accomplished. You know, Lord willing, he'll take you on your journey where you need to go, as long as you just doing the right thing at the right time, at the right place. So everything's possible. But I guess, does anyone else have any final thoughts?
Yeah, real quickly, I just want to give a shout out to WPS Studios. Y'all see this banner behind us, for allowing us to be able to do our show each and every week, to allow us with the resources and tools to do it. That's why we want to make sure that we continue to grow our sponsors, because we want to make sure that we bring you guys the most effective show each and every week. So make sure you guys don't shy away from sponsoring with us or being a blessing financially.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Absolutely.
What's the show next week?
Thank you for tuning in this week's show. We look forward to continuing your feedback. Well, next week we have the next topic, which will be
Health versus
let's see.
What is it?
health versus wealth. Does your mind control your money and your body?
Health versus wealth. Does your mind control your money? Hottie, that's one for you, being a fitness guru and a vegan.
Will. I am not a vegan. Stop it. My wife is gonna be like, "Why you telling people you're a vegan?" I am not a vegan. My wife is a vegetarian, and I
Okay.
eat vegan food.
Okay, well,
Make it where nobody won't cook no meat in my
that.
house.
We'll clarify that. We'll figure out the difference because I have no clue what it is. So
We'll talk about it.
yes, definitely.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank y'all for tuning in to Dallas Confidential TV, and hope everybody enjoys their day.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.